Hello, hello. Damn it, I need to put another intro up. The last intro I have is when COVID hit. I'm not laughing about COVID because it sent me into a nervous breakdown. But hello, Diane, menopause. Oh, no, lady, that was a long time ago. Purple iris, sage. I don't even really, when I come live anymore, I don't even really expect a big, uh, a big chat. Yeah, I used to be able to, I used to be able to get two, three, 400 people on a good day, but always at least 150, 200. When I was knee deep in the drama, um, I don't even expect that anymore. Hey, Lindsay Lee. Hey, Bolo. I still don't understand the crown thingy. The crown thingy. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, Diane. The crown thingy. Oh, please don't tell me you're talking about Queen Supremes. I know you're not, Diane, because I know you don't watch that shit over there. But hello, Vigilum and his cows. The truth. Why do you have me blocked before? Oh, that's just who's chatting the most. Well, hello, Carla. That's I don't remember blocking you, Vigilum. I don't know you. I know your little sector over there. I know it's you, and I'm assuming like Carla and Behaven, and I don't know. Uh, I I don't know. I don't hang out over there. Do I hear stuff? Yeah, but I don't. But I don't remember blocking you. Yeah, Diane, that's who's chatting the most and or supporting the stream the most. That's where that little crown thingy comes in. But so we all know that when I first came to YouTube, of course, like everybody else, I came to YouTube for like music and how to do videos and thrifting. And then I'm always been a true crime buff. Some big major cases have taken place right here in my little hometown area. So, and we all know that my Darlie Routier, hey, Callie Blue, for Jody Arias, yeah. So, when I first came to YouTube, it was for, dumb stuff, not dumb stuff, but music, how to do, thrifting, whatever. And then I stumbled across this true crime community, and they had these things called hangouts. And I thought, well, this is kind of weird. This is kind of wild. People talking to each other on a live stream. Okay, this is kind of cool. I can do this. You know, hey, Sunnyside. And then lo and behold, it's not true crime at all. There was very little true crime in there. It was mostly creators going live talking shit about each other. And I fell right into it. I joined right in. Boy, I got me a channel up and running, and I'm going to be a true, hey, Carla Ray, I'm going to be a true crimer. I'm going to come on here and talk shit. I mean, if that's what the true crime community is, I want to be a part of it. And of course, who do I kind of uh, get drawn to? But Laura. And in my opinion, Laura was like the underdog. And I've always had a habit of going for the underdog. Yeah, we did have a good time. We had some bad times too. But, and then I felt like, for whatever reason, my own personal feelings, Laura Plex QT is her channel name. I felt like she was like the underdog. So I'm always drawn to the underdog. And sometimes that's a bad thing because the underdog doesn't always turn out to be the actual underdog. You only get what's on the surface unless you get so involved with the creator that you do get a little peek of behind the scenes things. So, I'm wrapped up in the true crime. True crime runs to the drama. They kind of bump into each other, the drama community, which is what it is was. It really doesn't exist anymore. But it was drama. It was these women, mostly women, occasionally men. Brian, go put your shirt on. Sorry, guys, I'm not reading chat. Hey, Brentley. But then you had the true crime and drama community clash, and they come together. It wasn't that big of a shock because true crime was people talking about each other anyway. So it wasn't like I really, you know, so then, then with mixed in, okay, the true crime and the drama, they come together, and then you get a little sprinkle of Boyd in there, and you really start looking around, and you're really meeting, or not meeting, but watching people that you would have never dreamed were ever on the face of the earth. But then things started to get ugly. I participated in some ugly. I ran my mouth. I didn't like make CPS calls and dig up people's family histories and all that kind of shit, but I ran my mouth. But then I got to thinking, man, and then I had Mar helping me with my channel, and I love Mar, and she's still a friend today. So I can say, man, I have really very few regrets on this platform. Right, Sage. Right. I have very few regrets. I mean, I have a couple, um, but very few. I had Mar helping me with my channel, and we was going to have this great, fun, play games, trivia, and we did it, and we had fun. And then life caught up to us, and I love Mar. She's, like I said, I still talk to Mar behind the scenes, not as often as I should. Um, no, the Deal or No Deal. That was so much fun that night, and that was, people of different groups coming together. And, I went through my hate Hello Starlight days. Still don't like her, but have no real reason to talk about her. Um, and I just got to thinking to myself, I don't act like this in my real life. Hey, Ben. Hey, Wendy V. I don't act like this in my real life. I do not sit and argue with the neighbor 4 nights a week across the fence. What the hell am I doing on the internet? So I decide I'm going to branch out a little bit. And I had already stumbled across like Keemstar. I know all of his lore, the whole Etika shit, the whole Alex shit, and I had already watched his podcast a couple times. So while everything's going on over here in what has now become trauma, because they don't cover true crime, they commit them. And I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be the person that goes live 4 or 5 times a week talking about the same person every day. I popped into Wendy V's the other day, and I haven't been in Wendy V's in a long time. Um, it was fun. I'm sure Carla and them didn't think it was fun, but it was fun. Sorry, Carla. y'all was getting called out for your bad behavior. And what I heard on that panel was bad behavior. And that's what we used to do. We used to call each other out on well, I don't know if she's biased. I mean, Wendy V, when she went live about Samara and shit, I thought, wait a minute, Randy and Wendy, why is anybody defending fucking Samara here? Samara's the one that went to Pop Top or Soda Pop or Pop Not Soda and did a whole 23 and me on me. But whatever, everybody can have their opinions or whatever. I can honestly say the clip that Wendy V played of the panel of Republican Ash, uh, Carla was up there, Squishy was up there, Spoofer was up there. I know none of these people except for Wendy V, who's talking about it, Ash, and Carla. I don't know Squishy and Squishy and Swooshy. Hey, Scottish Bluebell. I don't know all them people. And from what I heard, I don't want to. I don't want to know them. I know Carla. I know the old Carla. But I don't know the Carla that, hey, Nemesis, that would sit on that panel. I know Republican Ash. But that girl did a flip one day. I mean, you got to remember, me and Republican Ash is what I considered behind the scenes friends. I mean, she would like call me and ask me to send her a picture of what I cooked for dinner. That kind of goofy shit. I always gave Ash kind of a break because she does have a little comprehension problem. So, but then one day I wake up and now all of a sudden she's this person who doesn't like gays, doesn't like blacks, doesn't like dildos, doesn't like Christmas, calling everybody lukewarm Christians and telling everybody they're going to go to hell. And I was like, whoa, who is this? Yeah, Carla, when you're on a panel, you have somewhat of a responsibility to either speak up and say, whoa, 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 I disavow this. No, I don't want any part of this. Hello, Truth Seeker. Sunnyside, Ash. Ash does not like Christmas. And we're all going to hell because of the way that we choose to celebrate Christmas. And that's when I was like, whoa, I got to back off of Ash here. What do you mean? Okay, Ash never said the N word. What she did was she basically said it's okay to say that word. And then you have Carla and them going, yeah, it doesn't mean it's not bad. It's not bad. It just means a color. Motherfuckers, go out into the real world and say that to somebody's face. And you're going to see exactly the consequences of free speech. Go if it's so okay to say, then go out into the real world. Turn on your camera while you're walking down a street and look at a black person, an African American person, and look at them and say that word. Because that's going to be good content. Watching you get popped in your mouth is going to be good content. But just sitting on a panel and saying it for shock value or whatever, and then other people sitting there like, Well, it's okay. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. There's nothing free in this world. There are consequences. So, it's, I don't, again, I don't want to be a part of that. Am I going to listen when somebody covers it? Yeah, because I'm a nosy bitch. Hey, Captain Avi, hope you're feeling better. I'm going to listen when somebody covers it because I'm a nosy bitch. But I got to tell you, I don't know who Ash is anymore. This is a person who, I used to talk to behind the scenes. And again, I always cut her slack for her comprehension skills. But I don't know who she is anymore. I'm not making fun of her. Okay, why is it okay? Let me ask you a question, Vigilant. Why is it okay for Ash to sit on a panel? No, she's not blocked. Why is it okay for Ash to sit on a panel and say the things she says, but no one has a right to react to it? Hey, thank you, next. I just want to say thank you, next. Did me a great favor by dropping all the Brian Kohlberger documents. So I didn't have to go and download all of them. Thank you, next. I'm not going to listen to her explain anything, Vigilant. She compared me to the man in the Bible who ordered the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. I'm not twisting her words. Ash doesn't even know what her words are half the damn time. Invite a black man or woman on that panel with you all and say what was said that day, and I'll tune in. Invite a black person to sit on that panel with the same conversation. Don't change the words, don't change nothing. The exact same conversation. Okay, Vigilant, how can you like black people? How can you like black people? Yes, LaDonna, that's who I was accused of being. I didn't say she said the N word. Squishy said the N word. I never said Ash said the N word. Yeah, Tess, I'm moving on here real quick. I'm letting Vigilant. I don't give, go over there, do your free speech, and and throw out your ignorance into the world. It's not like there's not enough ignorance out there, and what comes out of those mouths over there is pure ignorance, and that's what I just chalked Ash up to. But again, Ash was the underdog, and that's who I found myself being drawn to. It was Laura. It was Ash. Go say whatever you want to do. Go. Oh. Well, Swishy, you're a bigot. Okay. You are a true blue bigot. I didn't know that was Vigilant. See, that's how much I don't know. So you think it's okay to say the N word? Oh, okay. What's wrong with her liking your food? Talk about twisted words. Dude, Hello, Parasolo. Dude, I can't with you. I can't with you. I just can't. But go do your thing, man. Keep throwing ignorance out into the world. But don't be sad when ignorance gets shoved right up your ass on the tip of a boot. Whoever said I was okay with Richard Groiper? Carla, excuse me? I have spoke out against Richard Groiper. So don't come in here saying y'all are okay. I'm moving on. I ain't even arguing with you. What y'all did on that panel was pure bigotry. Like it or not. Magnolia, am I the cow? I know, Bolo. I'm like, what is going on here? Magnolia, am I the cow? I don't mind you calling me a cow, but I do like to know who you're calling a cow. Okay, if you're not swishy, then you're not swishy. You're Vigilum and his cows, and you're still a bigot because you believe that everything that was said over there is okay. How about that? Okay, moving on. Bolo, if this gets totally, I mean, I ain't one for like blocking people, but keep your eye on dumb stuff. You know, dumb stuff. Sunny side, whatever. So again, my whole point was I seem to be drawn to the underdog or who I think is the underdog. And Ash was one of them. Laura was one of them. But I started dipping my toes in over at the Keemstar universe. Yes, opinions are allowed, but you can't say dirty words like ignorant words. You can say dirty words, you can say fuck or whatever, but you can't say like the N word. Those are ignorant words. Those are words of ignorance. So yes, your opinion is allowed. So and at this point, I'm going to start boring you, Vigilum, because this has nothing to do with you, the drama community, or anything else, or your people, or your group, or whatever. I know, LaDonna. I know I need a better radar detector. Cock balls, those are acceptable words. I can do that. So once again, I'm like, man, I'm so tired of all this real life looking people up, um, making calls. This just ain't fun. It ain't fun to watch. You definitely don't want to participate in it. So I moved on. So I went over to the LCU and I started watching. It was after Tommy C had gone, but it was Keem, Boogie, Wings, and then they had the show Queens. I never was a Tina D fan. I never was an angry grandpa fan. I don't like scripted shtick comedy like that. Yeah, doxing is not okay. Good Lord, why do y'all keep. Is that even the real Carla? Of course, doxing's not okay. But whatever. So I find myself over there. And what do I find? I find that I'm drawn to who I thought was the underdog. You're learning what? Chinese and how to slap faces. You're learning Chinese. Oh. Bye, Brantley. So then I get over there, and, like I said, you got three men doing a podcast, and then it branches out, and I know the Keemstar lore. Again, I know about Etika, I know about Alex, I know about his gaming, I know about the boxing match in London when he, brought Boogie and Wings up from the depths of hell, blah blah blah. But then he has another entertainer over there, and her name is Becky Boop. And I thought, okay, she's quick-witted. Oh, well, that might explain why I can't understand it, Peta. I don't know. But she's quick-witted. She puts up a little bit of fight against Keemstar, which none of the other hosts do. They literally shit themselves when he jumps on panel. And then I start seeing like what I thought was like abusive. I started seeing what I felt like was almost abusive. Now I'm not so sure that it wasn't all just written in show notes, but whatever. So all hell breaks loose. Becky leaves the LCU, goes over to start her own little universe of Becky Boop universe. And I thought, well, I'll go support her over there. And she has Savage, which we all know. I do not like Savage live. I do not like Savage. Savage does not like me. I know the shit Savage has done. I saw Savage coming over there sniffing at Tina's panties. I knew Mike was working with Savage behind the scenes to get her on a show, which he did. There's things that was done to Savage over there that I don't feel like was fair. I know, True Seeker, and that's okay. There was things that was done to Savage over in that universe that I think was shitty. You know, but that doesn't mean I like Savage anymore. It just means I still don't like her, and she got fucked over. It both can be true. But still, when Becky went on her own and she said she's going to have Roxy, I've had some words with Roxy only because Roxy wouldn't take accountability for some things, but we got past it. Roxy is just a person who just wants to entertain. She just wants to entertain people. She'll be the goofy little sidekick, the Pinocchio, the real life stream. She just wants to entertain people. Hello, Neri. I got a feeling with whatever's going on in my chat, a live is going to blast off somewhere, and I don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. Hello, Miss Fletcher. Right. I don't care who watches who. Do you, boo? But so Becky goes over there, creates this universe, which is basically exactly what Keemstar had done. So, in a way, she was imitating Keemstar. And we all know that imitation is a form of flattery. It was very clear that she still had an open relationship with Keem and Mike, kid behind the camera. But I still supported Becky. I'm not one to tell somebody who they can and cannot talk to. I'm one that would advise you, I wouldn't go there. You're going to get burnt. And I did kind of push it a little bit with somebody the other day, and I have backed off, and I'm going to stay backed off. But so Becky's lineup is her and Roxy, Savage and Roxy, Thick Gemini, which I absolutely cannot stand. I just don't like the dude. Uh, and I Vixie, which is a VTuber. Okay, I'm 60 years old. I'm not much into watching cartoons, but the person behind the VTube character seems to be a very intelligent, fun, uh, fair person. So there's a person, yes, thick fuck. So, there's a person behind iVixie. Go sub up to her if you're, like I said, I'm not a big VTuber person. That's just not me. And it's not for any reason that Keemstar said, oh, they draw a bad crowd or whatever. I wouldn't know if they did. I'm just older than I'm 60. I'm not watching cartoons. Yes, I'll tune into her if she's doing a little bit of drama. I support her financially, whatever. I hope all of her dreams come true. But she was part of the lineup. And then Becky making all these promises how she was going to give everybody all these breaks and, she was going to put them on shows and blah, 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 which never came to fruition. So here I am supporting Becky, supported her over there when she worked for Keem and Mike. I'm supporting her on her own shit. And I start seeing little things. And I was like, oh, here we go again. Tracy Dunn gravitated towards the underdog, and I start seeing little cracks in Becky. I start seeing things that I begin to question. I joined her Discord. That didn't work out so well. Hello, Crystal. No, Becky never did. Her Discord turned out to be a bunch of people that Becky could kick a litter of puppies, literally go through and kick every one of them. And her Discord would tell her that's okay. She's justified in doing so. That's what I found out about Becky's Discord. So I'm seeing all these little cracks in Becky, and, so I've got my own wheels spinning in the back of my mind, and turns out I was right. But the next thing I know, she's on panel and just basically totally tries to humiliate Roxy because Roxy picks up her phone to look at it because she has a husband who's not well, and she has, a daughter now living at home with grandkids, and her life is just really busy, which is the reason she actually quit from over at the LCU under Keemstar, is because she was frazzled, and you have to be locked into something. um her and Becky worked out deals. I don't know, I wasn't in on all that shit. You think she's shady? I don't know. So I see Becky really treating Roxy shitty one night on a stream, and I thought, what is going on here? And then I thought, haha, I know what's going on here. Right. Now, Roxy's looking at text messages from her sick husband and family, and Savage is on her phone watching Queens. But Roxy gets humiliated. So then it comes out. I'm still in Becky's Discord at this point. And then it said that, I think I'm just going to give Roxy a week off and, let her try to get her real life in order and, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, okay, whatever, I'll still support them. Now, keep in mind, I still supported Becky when Savage was on her panel. I still donated. I did not start shit in chat. It doesn't matter that I don't like Savage. It's not my place to go into someone else's chat and start shit because I don't like one of her co-hosts. So, is he a reptilian? He's kind of snaky, LaDonna. He's kind of snaky, but he's an evil fucking genius. And I've said it a long time ago. You don't have to like somebody. I'm not a big Keemstar fan, but he has got talent behind a microphone and he is a businessman. Who needs to work something out? I don't know. I don't know. So, okay. So the next thing I know, Becky's giving Roxy a week off. And I'm like, okay, not my business. Good luck, Roxy. Feel better. See you soon. Whatever. And then the next thing I know, Becky pops up. Now they've already done goals together. Okay. There was goals, where they throw a goal up and if they raise so much money, they'll do this, they'll do that. And the whole time that Becky's doing her new universe, she sits on her channel. She complains constantly about how much work it is. Well, nobody wants to hear that. Right, Mrs. Fletcher. Nobody wants to sit and hear how much work it is. If it's that much work, you should have kept your ass over in the LCU where Keemstar did all the behind the scenes work and his people. I'm sure it's not him personally, but his people. And all you had to do was show up 2 hours a day. But then goals started getting set, and these were goals that were never going to be implemented. Never, ever, ever was. And we're talking $600, $700, $800 a stream, $1,000 a stream being donated towards goals. That's just never going to happen. And I know they're not going to happen. Becky is not going to Niagara Falls. Becky is not going to rent a car to go to Niagara Falls. Becky is not going to leave her fucking bedroom. Oh, okay, True Seeker. Yeah, I don't have any desire to work anything out with Savage, nor does Savage have any desire to work anything out with me. I don't like the real life shit that Savage does. And I'm getting to that. Because while I'm supporting Becky and while Savage is one of her, um, a part of her universe, I'm not saying nothing. I ain't saying shit about Savage. Until boom, a Friday night stream on Savage's channel. Becky and them all go live on the BBU. That might have been the same night that Becky announced she fired Roxy. And if you want to fire somebody, that there's nothing, whatever. But you don't fire somebody, make an announcement that you two have decided to part ways, and then come into the Discord and immediately start trashing them, Becky. That's what you did. I was there. I watched it. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? I thought everything was good between Roxy and Becky. It was a mutual part. They parted ways. I saw a side of Becky right then and there. I was like, all right, I am not digging this shit at all. She done scamming her people. She ain't going to do these goals. She's done, shit on Roxy. She done talk some smack about Roxy. The people in the Discord are all joining in on all this. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the next thing I know, Becky's over on Savage's panel. And what do? They go Savage style. Savage starts in on an ex co host over in the LCU. And she starts going into parts of her life that do not belong on the internet, talking about her child custody case, why she doesn't have her kids, when she lost her kids, blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody's fucking business. And in my opinion, that's real life. Threatening to pull up on Twiggy and Tina. all this shit. We all know Savage has pulled up before. She's pulled up at somebody's house before. To me, that's real life. And Becky was sitting up there on that panel with Savage as she's ripping apart an ex co host who has mental issues that Savage is fully aware of. And it put a bad taste in my mouth. It put a bad taste in my mouth. So I said so in Discord. And I said so to Becky. Is this what you want? Is this what you want your universe to be about? Because if so, give me back my fucking money and I'll be on my merry way. But it couldn't just end that way. Becky sends me a DM and says, look, I know what Savage is about, but I'm just going to let her do her thing on her channel. Okay, you ain't going to let her do nothing because she going to do it with or without your fucking permission, Becky. And that's why you didn't go hard for Savage the way you did for Roxy. Because Roxy's not going to tap your ass in real life. Savage very well might. So here I am in Discord saying, this is wrong. This is real life. I got Savage's goons coming for me, saying, that's not real life. You're fucking stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, I get booted from Discord. I was like, whatever. Okay, I didn't fit in. It's okay. And then I'm having these DMs with Becky. Becky's telling me, I know what Savage is like, but I'll take the good part of her because Savage is good behind the microphone. There's nothing, there's no, there's no denying that. Savage has talent behind a microphone. She's, she gets on my nerves because she laughs at her own jokes constantly. And I'm not into that, but whatever. She's talented behind a microphone. But I also know what Savage is capable of because of the time I spent in the true crime drama, the whole mess of that. She's very entertaining until she steps over that line that's not entertaining anymore. When you step over that line into somebody's personal life, that's not entertaining anymore. And that's what I was trying to tell Becky. And Becky's like, well, I'm just going to take the good part of Savage and use it over here in the BBU. And I'm going to leave the bad part of Savage over there on Savage Live. No, you can't do that. Because you number one, you sat on the panel with her while she did this. And number two, she's part of your lineup. Of course, you're going to be associated with anything she does on her channel. Don't play stupid, Becky. If Savage was still part of your lineup and she rolled up to somebody's house, it reflects on you, even though she did it on her own channel. But, Becky's DMing me all this shit. And then she starts saying, you're just mad because I'm working. I'm not working with Keem and Mike, but you think I'm working with Keem and Mike. And the whole time, guess what? She was working with Keem and Mike. But I supported her back when she worked with Keem and Mike. So that wasn't my problem, Becky. It never was. But the threats that you sent to Savage about me and anybody associated with me, have you lost your fucking mind? Have you lost your fucking mind? The times you have sat on your panel and called me a drunk and calling me stupid and retarded, and have you lost your fucking mind? Okay, enjoy your lunch and nap. Because I tell you that I have a real problem with the situation. And then you start sending me threatening DMs, actually threatening Roxy, using Keemstar, and telling me that I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. Have you lost your fucking mind, Becky? Have you, I mean, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Here, once again, rooting for the underdog, bit me in my fat ass. Because this woman has lost her damn mind. Telling me why I have a problem with her for every reason under the sun that's not even what it was. I had a problem with the way she treated Roxy, and I had a problem with her sitting on that panel of savages while Savage dug into somebody's real life. It had nothing to do with Keem and Mike. Did she continuously say, I'll never go back to work with Keem and Mike? Yeah, she continuously said that. And what did she do? She did. She went back to work for the motherfuckers. It just so happens that it didn't work out the way that the public was supposed to perceive it. Now I've got my theories about what's going on with all of that. I'll just keep them to myself. Right, Bolo. She made many a threats and put BS on me and Bolo and others. I mean, Becky had supporters that's been with her for the whole 10 years her channel set silent. And she treated them like shit. Yeah, Savage read the threats out loud that Becky made to me and Bolo and anybody associated with us. Fuck off. Fuck off, Becky. I owe you nothing. I supported you financially, uh, participation in your chats. Fuck off. Yes, Mrs. Fletcher. That's what I'm saying. So when all this shit blew up, and the whole, uh, oh, I couldn't tell you all because of an NDA. You'll notice that Becky hides behind that NDA when it's convenient for Becky. Any other time, she just runs her mouth. But if she can't tell you something, it's because of the NDA. She had people saying, "Man, don't go back to Keem and Mike." I probably said it to her. Don't go back over there. You know what you went through over there. Don't do it. And the whole time, she's working to go back over there. And then says to her people, I don't owe you an explanation. What? You're sitting here getting money from people, from strangers, are giving you money. You are lying to their faces while thanking them for their money, but you don't owe them anything, Becky. No, here's the deal. They don't owe you anything. As supporters or as contributors to your channel, they don't owe you anything. You, as the creator, owes your viewers. So you got it all twisted there, Bex. You know, let's say you pay to go see a concert, and the lead singer gets up there and says, "Yeah, I don't know y'all shit. I'm just gonna stand here because I don't know y'all shit. It don't matter that you paid to see me. I don't know you nothing." No, Becky, that's not how it works. So then she get the LCU kind of flips on her. They do this whole, we're going to teach Becky a lesson thing. And Becky's snaking her people while they're snaking her, which is all leading up to something in the end. Trust me. Stay with me here, people. So she gets burnt. She has this mental breakdown, or at least she wants people to think she has this mental breakdown. You know, I'm not one to really go at somebody when they're at their lowest, but she's back and she's better than ever, according to her. So I don't feel like I'm really going at Becky while she's at her lowest. I laid off the whole week that she was putting out shit. This could cause somebody to hurt themselves. This could cause somebody to end their lives, blah, blah. I laid off of it. I said, nope, I ain't going to participate in this. Want no part of this. So the whole thing blows up over at the LCU. She says she's got Keem blocked. Keem says Becky blocked him. But yet the other night, boom, her phone rings. Who is it? Keemstar. She picks up her phone, call Keem. Boom, goes right through. So ain't nobody got nobody blocked. Ain't nobody stupid. Well, I take that back. There's a lot of stupid people. But I ain't one of them. So it turns out Keemstar admits, him and Mike admit that they snaked Becky in. They knew that Roxy had already said she doesn't want to go work for Keemstar. To the best of my knowledge, she is not working for him. She's just back over there. Whatever. Do you, Roxy? Do you? Uh, but they knew that Roxy couldn't be a part of it. So, Becky's working with Keem and Mike and Savage. They're behind the scenes. They're planning all of this. And so Roxy's got to go. Roxy's got to go. Keem plants it in Becky's ear. Roxy's really all about her channel. Keem has admitted to this. He has admitted to it. Becky, on the other hand, has not. She's totally twisted it as if Roxy did her wrong. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Keem admitted that Roxy was used as a pawn in all of this. No, and I will give Savage credit. I believe Becky was like, well, Savage has got to come. Savage has got to come. And I believe Savage thought about it, got sent the $2,500, and Savage thought, no, man, I'm not doing this. Number one, Savage made it very clear that Joe does not like Keemstar. After what Keem allowed to go around for weeks after the whole camp, the whole fat camp thing, the whole Savage shoulder puss thing, and it became content, and Keem promised to shut it down. And not only did he not shut it down, he participated in it right up until 4th of July weekend when he brought it up again. So I think Savage talked to Joe and her people, her closest people. Hold on a minute. Can you hear me? Am I back? I think Savage talked to her husband, talked to her people, and they're like, man, don't go back over there. Don't do it. So Savage did the right thing. She sent the $2,500 back to Keemstar and said, nah, man, I don't want no part of it. She did the right thing. Becky, she's all in. She's going to take that 2,500. She's going to go over there. She's thinking, this is her big break again. So, and Becky, if you're probably not listening because I didn't tag you, and I did that on purpose because I truly am going through changes when it comes to how I feel about feeling for people on the internet, because I'm just to the point. It's not real. None of it's real. I didn't know that because I've always been real. I've always been who I am. So the fact that people get on here and there's nothing real about them is just mind blowing to me. But hey, I get it. I got it. Check. But so Becky goes over there. She gets snaked or whatever happens. And Becky wants to blame everybody. She takes no responsibility. It's my fault. It's Bolo's fault. It's Savage's fault. It's Roxy's fault. It's it's Vixie's fault. It's everybody's fault but Becky's, because Becky don't know us shit, according to Becky. So then everything falls apart. Becky has her mental breakdown. She starts throwing out that she could possibly harm herself. I'm like, whoa, those words, I'm backing off for a minute. But then she came back. She's stronger than ever. She starts making threats. She starts accusing people that supported her of being the problem. No, bitch. You got hoodwinked. That ain't our problem. We're the people that was telling you, if you go back over there, they're going to get you. You did it. Not our problem. Your problem. You would have thought she would have come out and humbled herself and said, y'all were right. Y'all were right. And this is why I don't think she came out and humbled herself. Because I think all of this is leading up to the new show of Keemstar and Becky. This is my theory. Got to keep building that hate between them. Because that little flirty shit, that wasn't hate enough. Oh, she had no humility whatsoever. But my theory is this is Keem and Becky. And what has to happen is Keem has to save Becky like he did with Boogie and Wings. So Keem can have that recognition. Because, Becky's killing herself over here. She's killing her channel. She's killing her supporters. So Keem has to be the savior. This is just my opinion. Hey, man. So Keem has to watch Becky continuously just destroy herself over here. And Becky has to continue to destroy herself so that Keem can rush in and save her and pull her into this new show, which everybody would have watched anyways. Even if it would have been hate for Keem or hate for Becky, people would have still watched. But the more hate there is out there, the better the show. And I think that's what all of this is building towards. So, in the grand scheme of things, I think this has all been one big skit. And has it gone off rails at times? Yeah, I do believe it has gone off rails. But I feel like this is the big lead into the new, it won't be called frenemies, but the new, like Ethan and Trisha, the new frenemies thing. That's what I feel like's happening. Could I be wrong? Yeah. Have I been wrong a lot when it comes to these people? No. And I think Becky has to continue to just bury herself. She couldn't just come out, be humble, and apologize to people, because then it was just going to get smoothed over, and Keem and them wouldn't be able to talk about it. It wouldn't have any kind of buildup. So Becky had to come out and be the bitch, because she doesn't care about her true supporters and the people who've had her back. She only cares about sitting next to Keemstar on a stage, because she knows that Keemstar is going to bring in viewers, and all she has to do is show up and do a show with Keem. But remember, Ozzy Osbourne once said, "Be careful who you step on the way up, because you're going to meet them again on the way down." You're going to meet them again on the way down, Becky. So yeah, your show with Keem, that, well, I'll never, we heard that before. And then in the same breath, well, I might somewhere down the road. Heard that before. How'd that work out for you? So those are the changes I'm going through. I'm no longer going to root for the underdog. Not on YouTube. Becky, pay the people. Pay Roxy. Savage is due on September 1st. So I don't know why people are making Savage out to be a victim at this point, because her money isn't even due yet. Roxy's money is due. Pay Roxy. If you don't have it, have Keem pay it, and then he can take it out of your first paycheck or two when you and him start your new show. But do what's right and pay the people that worked for you, which is Roxy, which is Savage, which is Ivixie. Because I don't think you're going to get the opportunity to sit next to Keemstar until you pay the people. And again, if you don't have it, pick up your phone, call Keem. It'll ring just like it did the other night, even though you said you had him blocked. Tell him the truth. I don't have it, Keem. Because otherwise, you're just building up to be the most hated so that Keemstar can swoop you up and fix you like he did Boogie and Wings. And that's where your next show is coming from, folks. But what it boils down to is, even if that's the plan, Becky, you still have to pay the people. Even if that's your future plans, you still have to pay the people that worked for it. Savage worked for it. Roxy worked for it. Ivixie worked for it. You have to pay them. The redemption arc, yes. There's nothing more that King can do for Boogie. He's built him up as much as he can. There's nothing more King can do for Wings. But he can fix Becky. He can have a whole new redemption arc. And this is where this is all leading to, in my opinion. And Becky is in on it, knee deep. It's not going on behind. It's not, it's this. I'm not being fooled anymore. Prove me wrong. And please, Becky, don't send me another DM here in a little bit, because my last response to you was, I've been blocked by better. So don't send me any more DMs saying that I'm ruining everything, that you have plans and I'm ruining all of them by talking about them, because these are my opinions. And if they come to fruition, yay me. If they don't, obviously wouldn't be the first time I've been fooled, would it? Becky, no attorney in the world told you that you didn't have to pay Roxy and them. Nobody told you that. I don't believe you even have an attorney. I don't believe this is ever even going to result in a courtroom. Right, He Man. Hey, Lolo. I believe all of this is already planned out. I believe Roxy's going to get her money. I believe Savage is going to get her money. I believe Ivixie is going to get her money. It's just a matter on how long does Becky sit and stew in it like this. I don't know. We'll see. These are my opinions. Some of them are truth. Some of them are facts. I witnessed it. I was there for it. I got the threats. Becky threatening Roxy using Keem to me. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to get Roxy hurt. You don't know what I'm not going to be. I'm not there to protect her anymore. What the fuck, Becky? Stop it. Well, He Man, I'll support. I have sent a couple hate donos and it was worth it. I mean, I got banned from Milkers. First, Savage blocks me, bans me. Then I get unbanned when Savage is gone. And then I send a $1.99 super sticker just telling the truth. And Keem blocked me. So I was like, well, fuck it. You know, I wasn't meant to be a part of the Milkers. So, oh, great. I done created an enemy in that Vigilum with cows people. They just posted a post to me. I don't need this. Vigilum, if you're listening, I don't care. I have the right to think that what went on that panel was disgusting. I have that right. So I don't need community post after community post. I done been down that road with somebody else. I don't need it. I just got a notification that that person posted a community post, that Vigilum something with cows. I don't know what it was. It was in here earlier. Uh, 49 community posts is not going to change my mind. You're still disgusting. If you believe that what went on that panel is okay, you're still gross. And no amount of community posts is going to change that. So, okay, you're right. I did assume before. I just assumed, which made an ass out of me. You're right, Vigilum. I did not read the post. I apologize. Does that mean I won't get a second post? That's what I'm shooting for. Because I'm not part of your community. I can only go based on what I've heard. So go do you. But thank you for the post. And thank you for letting me know that I'm a big bitch for not reading it and calling it out. You're right. You got me. You got me. You don't want me. Nobody knows. Oh, look, a man on a roof. That's not something you look over at your neighbors every day behind the house and see. But again, Becky, I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know. You know, I have my theory that this is the big build up to the new show. I could be wrong. Don't care if I'm wrong. I will never, ever, ever support another YouTuber the way that I did you. And I'm not talking financially because my little $100 a week or whatever I was throwing at you, 20 a 20 20 a live stream. You went live 5 nights a week. That ain't shit. But I will never, ever, ever again look at a YouTuber and say, "Oh, I feel bad for them. They're being treated bad. I'm gonna be team them because I've got to go for the underdog." Because what it has done over the years has bit me in the ass every single time. Do I need to be in a community? No, sir, or ma'am, or whatever. No. Vigilum, you do not need to be in a community to state your opinion. No. So, with that, I'm jumping off of here. Becky, there's no need to block me because I will never contact you again. You can block me if you want after you said you were going to, and I said I've been blocked by better. I never tried typing to you again. I was banned from your Discord after I paid for the $10 membership because that's what I was told you had to do was upgrade. That's before the $5 one was slid in there. And that's okay. I told you, keep the $10. I'll get my $10 worth out of talking about your ass. The super chats and shit, I'm just gonna chalk up to thank God I learned now before I invested one more dime in you. But booting me from your Reddit, that was kind of dumb because I rarely typed on there anyways. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't need to be on your Reddit either. I'll just sit back from afar and occasionally I'll watch you when there's nothing else to watch, nothing better going on. And if I see your bullshit, I'll call out your bullshit, just like I do everybody else on this platform. And everybody, like Vigilum, has the right to call out my bullshit. I'm a free thinker now. I am. I have been awakened to the fact that it really is just YouTube. Because when you really get to know these people behind the scenes, it's nothing like you thought. It really is all mirrors and lights. And I'm okay for a good show. I'm up for a good show. But I won't ever blindly support anybody again. I will never say, "Oh, they're treated badly. I'm going to throw them some money. I'm going to hit the like. I'm going to chat in their chat." I won't do that ever again. It doesn't mean I won't chat in chats. It just means I will not blindly say that somebody's the underdog. I can think it. I can even chat with people that I'm in a little group with. But I'll never step out on that. I'll never get that close to the edge ever again, Becky. And I have to thank you for that because you're not the first one, but you most certainly, lady, will be the last. If you really were the good person that you try to convince people that you are, you would come out here, you would show some humility, quit blaming your supporters, Keem, Mike, Roxy, Savage, iVixie, everybody for your stupidity. And if it's part of a grand scheme, you're playing the part very well, Beck. Very well. Hey, Janie. So, with that, I'm going to go. I'm going to have to lay out something for supper, because us normal people, us non superstars like Becky Boop, we really do have to do stuff like cook dinner and clean house and, you know, take dogs and cats to groomers and vets and, real life stuff. It's really not just a show on, the internet for some of us. Thank you, Nemesis. With that, I'm out. I wish everybody the best of luck. Even you, Becky. If I can wish Keemstar the best of luck, I can wish Becky Boop the best of luck. Well, it's 2:15 here, Sunnyside, so I have to lay something out so it has time to thaw. Hey, Lolo. Lolo, where did I see you the other day that I was totally blown away? I was like, oh, Lolo's in this chat. I didn't say anything, but I was like, ooh, that's weird. I can't remember where it was. Whatever. I'm sure people thought the same thing when they saw me in Keemstar's chat. Truth is over at Keemstar's? That's weird. All right. The world must go on. The show must go on. So everybody just continue to do you. And if you is going into people's real lives or abusing people on the internet or whatever, I'm a firm believer in karma. I don't believe it gets here fast enough in some cases, but I'm just going to keep being me. I'm going to live and learn. Yes, peace in the Middle East. That's the most important. But you guys have a great Monday. Have a great rest of your week. Unless something pops off somewhere, I probably won't be live again. If something pops off, I probably will. But Becky, pay the people. Ash, quit sitting upon your plastic throne, acting as if you are somehow superior to gay people, black people, Christian people, Catholic people, people who use dildos, people. Stop it, Ash. You're not superior. Laura, I haven't watched you, so I got nothing to say. All right, guys. Have a good day in the hood. And I'll see you around the tubes. Bye.